So in this video, we're going to tell you about Aucademy, who we are and what we do. I'm Dr. Chloe Farahar. I'm an autistic academic and educator. I am a white person with short brown hair, large glasses, and I'm wearing a black dress with a strawberry pattern. I founded Aucademy in 2020 to offer a safe and welcoming space to educate both autistic and non-autistic people about autistic experiences, identity and culture. And Aucademy is now a community interest company based in Kent, where we reach autistic and non-autistic people all over the world.
What is Aucademy?
The best way to learn about autism is from autistic educators. Therefore, we founded Aucademy, an autistic-led education platform comprised entirely of autistic academics, researchers, teachers, speakers, trainers, and advocates. Here at Aucademy, we educate autistic and non-autistic learners regarding the autistic experience.
At Aucademy, our fundamental aim is to provide a safe and welcoming space to educate everyone about autistic discovery, identity, communication, and culture, as taught by an entirely autistic team of educators, collaborators and facilitators. Aucademy provides diverse positive role models leading by example who can work with diverse learners. We educate across multiple pages and platforms, facilitate autistic-only, autistic-led social groups, support autistic people to develop skills to deliver training and consultation to local authorities and NHS services so as to have a positive impact on service provision. Who is part of Aucademy? We have a number of people who support Aucademy across the world, and we have a small number of us based in Kent and Medway. Ben is one Aucademy person based in Kent, and he's going to tell us a bit about himself and why he works with Aucademy.
Hello, my name is Ben, and I am an autistic and ADHD advocate and educator, and I am a part of Aucademy. Diagnosed autistic at 17, I knew nothing about autistic experience until I met other autistic people, such as Dr. Chloe Farahar, who supported me on my educational journey through my own autistic profile. I have since created an online platform called Autisticality, where I have developed my own educational tools and easy-to-understand graphics that teach people about aspects of autistic experience in the hopes of helping to spread the knowledge and understanding that the autistic community desperately needs shared. I have since self-published a book of these graphics called A Guide to Autistic Experience, and have plans for more to come. As a part of Aucademy and outside of it, I aim to try and make the lives of other autistic people that little bit easier by ensuring non-autistic people can understand us better. After all, I believe we deserve to live our lives how we want, just like everyone else. This has sometimes been hard to do as a situationally non-speaking individual, in which I physically cannot get mouth words out to speak at times, which has shown me how inaccessible the world can be towards non-speaking people or people who communicate in other ways than traditional mouth words. But this does not stop me from fighting for accessibility and accommodations towards neurodivergent people, as we belong in the conversation just as much as anyone else, no matter how we communicate. This training program is vital for passing on the knowledge of autistic people that is required to improve our lives, and hopefully this will be the start of real change.
What are Aucademy's values and ethos? Our guiding principles for Aucademy learners and educators and collaborators include:
Guiding principle number 1, respect. We expect respect for different perspectives, but ultimately, autistic perspectives are prioritised in all their forms. We ask that you consider the needs of autistic people. This may mean understanding that certain demands, questions, and expectations may cause anxiety responses, including anger and frustration from those who experience demand avoidant profiles, or differences in attention for those who have attention differences. We should also be respected if we have, for example, atypical eye gaze, blunt or black and white thinking, longer processing times when we're asked questions.
Guiding principle number 2, language. While we advocate identity-first language, that is, to be referred to as autistic people, and we refuse to use functioning language, we understand that many people, both autistic and non-autistic, are at different stages in their autistic education. We ask that you please take time to learn the importance of language, and the language of autistic culture in order to have respectful, educated, and informed interactions.
Guiding principle number 3, depathologization. Here at Aucademy, we work within the neurodiversity paradigm, understanding that there is no such thing as a normal brain, only society's ideas of normal behaviour. As such, please attempt to refrain from using clinical language to discuss autistic experience, unless as a means of educating about the clinical narrative, which the neurodiversity narrative opposes. For example, we at Aucademy do not discuss autism symptoms, but we do discuss autistic experiences. We appreciate this narrative, and the language of autistic culture will be new to many people, and we respect those who make a clear attempt to learn. Slip-ups are to be expected. As such, attempt to be humble when corrected. You may feel the way you are corrected is blunt, but please try and remember that autistic people, we can be blunt, but it is unlikely that it's personal.
Guiding principle number 4, intersectionality. The autistic community and population are as biodiverse and neurodiverse as the non-autistic population, and we welcome people from all communities that intersect with autistic experience. We are particularly interested to hear from autistic educators to work with us who are from Black and people of colour communities, from the LGBTQIA+ community, who are autistic parents, and autistic people from non-traditional educational backgrounds. We also want to hear from disabled autistic people with psychological divergences like people who hear voices and have anxiety, etc., autistic people with non-traditional modes of communication, and autistic people with a learning disability.
Guiding principle number 5, gentle educating. At Aucademy, we accept that learners may be coming to us with different views from our ethos. It is our job to educate, but we are not here to enforce narratives.
Guiding principle number 6, anti-behaviourist or behavioural approaches, and anti-normalisation. At Aucademy, we are painfully aware of the harm normalisation and attempts to make us non-autistic does to our community members, where behavioural approaches such as PBS, ABA and social skills training are known to link with post-traumatic stress and masking, and where masking is highly related to autistic suicidality. Aucademy is about authentic autistic expression and supporting and embracing those differences.
Guiding principle number 7, empowering self-advocacy. At Aucademy, we educate about what works for autistic well-being and follow self-advocacy frameworks to support the improvement of well-being and empowering neurodivergent people to build their self-advocacy skills by helping them learn their needs and profile, build knowledge of their rights, and teach them to communicate their needs, profile, rights and boundaries as autonomous humans who are experts in their own experiences.
Starting with the basics, what is a boundary? A boundary is about, like I say, asserting your needs and expecting or asking for respect of those needs to be met. So it might be keeping something in for yourself, which you already have, or it might be stopping something from coming into your personal bubble, if you like.
Ultimately, Aucademy educators and collaborators are positive role models leading by example who work with diverse learners. Our learners may be autistic people, non-autistic people, families, professionals, teachers, employers, anyone. The diversity of our learners will mean that we may encounter people who have very limited or problematic perceptions of autistic experience, and it is our job to educate and lead by example, but it is not our job to foster heated debate. If someone wants to learn, they will. All we can do is give them the knowledge and the tools that we have and hope they use them to build an autistic-friendly world together. What does Aucademy do? Initially, Aucademy started as a free platform for autistic people of any background, providing educating videos on something about being autistic. We have a huge catalogue now of these videos, and we have covered things such as the basics of autistic experience and why we're autistic.
Hi, I'm Kim Rhodes. My pronouns are she, her. Today, we are discussing autistic discovery journey again, importantly, because we've covered it a couple of times. But as I say, Kim was on in 2020 and we kind of had a little bit of a revelation kind of on screen about how likely it is that Kim is neurodivergent.
In my case, the potential for a diagnosis makes me feel less damaged. Instead, I just thought stuff was wrong with me. And it isn't. You're just, there's nothing wrong with being an apple. You're just sitting in with a bunch of oranges.
I wish I were autistic. I fear I am not.
And then this year, is that right? You got diagnosis?
It was just a few months ago, yeah. Just the
If
male.
you've never seen Cy or Northern Autie before, this is what he looks like. So he's usually in the comments section and behind the scenes helping quite a lot. And we've also got lovely JSIC Feathers again. We're going to be covering our discussions around the 6 common reactions of autistic discovery. I'm joined by Monique and Annette, so Monique Crane, and today we are covering autistic sensory needs and differences in profiles. I am joined today by Amy and Kieran, and we're going to be talking about their very exciting book that I have lots of colourful sticky things in.
I'm Jodie Smitten. I'm an autism specialist working with children, mainly children and young people.
Today it's young autistic people's mental health, but specifically we are talking about burnout again and practical advice for families. And today we are talking about rejection sensitivity dysphoria in quotation marks. So we're going to talk about, do we like the word dysphoria even? What does rejection sensitivity mean to you, and why do we think we see more rejection sensitivity in the neurodivergent community? So we're going to kind of talk about this a little bit too. And we are discussing situational mutism. So we are going to be talking about picking apart this thing called monotropism. And welcome to our special Aucademy session on autistic empathy. So we're talking about the autistic communication hypothesis.
We also cover topics such as what things might usually happen at the same time as being autistic, called co-occurring experiences, as well as what identities we might have as well as being autistic, such as the importance of our ethnicities and gender.
So I did say in this session, Sam Harris meanderingly discusses ADHD discovery journey, which I thought is probably going to be quite meandering, because we're talking about the PDA profile today as well. So when did you discover, for instance, Christy, that you were autistic, and then added on to that, and then when did you discover PDA?
And this particular 2-hour special is going to be on autistic women's journeys. So
have you realised and recognised autistic people experience all the things? We might have all the things, or you might experience all the things. Largely we're talking about physical health things, I think, today, isn't that right, Mel? And today we are covering privilege in the autism community.
Yeah, today, hello everyone, is all about autistic and queer self-discovery and the intersections of religion, relationships, and grief.
We have covered topics to help autistic people, their loved ones, and professionals understand what might help us and what might not.
Mary is going to discuss with us today healthcare and healthcare barriers. Is that correct?
Yes.
For autistic people.
Definite difficulties for all respondents according to how common they are for us. The most common issue, difficulty deciding if symptoms warrant a visit, was similar across the groups. But difficulty using the telephone to book an appointment was the single greatest barrier to visiting a doctor when a visit was needed.
And today I am joined by Harry Cromar, although I can see your Zoom says Lisa. But this is Harry Cromar. And what is or are your specialisations? So what things are you interested in?
So imagine there's sort of a pool, like a whirlpool, for every single specific topic of things. So say for coming up with that box just then, I was thinking of ways to describe like the mind.
Importantly, we've brought autistic people together to share with the world our autistic joy, pride and community.
I'm proud to be me. I feel proud of my own autistic identity.
I belong to the stigmatised group of people with autism, but I strongly socially identify with the identity autistic. To belong, have a sense of meaning, to have peer support.
Yeah, Clove, I see a hand, and Callum. Yeah, I just want to express that this is Autistic Joy right here and right now. I've never been in a space like this before, and I'm so grateful for all of you expressing yourselves and sharing your experiences. I feel like home. So thank you. And this is happy. And this is a happy red face, tears streaming down is happy.
As well as the large library of videos we've made for free, Aucademy also has created and compiled resources such as our A to Z guide on our website, our Start Here guide to help people know where to start when they're overwhelmed with the information online about being autistic. Aucademy also receives support and funding to do projects, such as when we worked with Barnet Education and Learning Service. There we provided mentoring and an autistic discovery journey programme for pupils in the local area of Barnet. We've also worked with Vanguard, a specialist school in London, who hosted us for 3 days to workshop with staff, students and parents. We've also been working with Kent and Medway Trust, who funded 8 transforming autistic healthcare webinars for healthcare staff across KMPT. Aucademy has also run the first ever online conference on autistic pregnancy. We also provide on-demand educational videos and deliver training across the UK and the world. Aucademy has also spent energy campaigning for the rights of autistic people.
Members of the public are becoming more discerning and more critical about what they take part in. It's a lot of energy to do research, to be part of research, to be a participant. I feel what we're seeing now is autism researchers are being held accountable for the types of research that they are doing.
Ultimately, Aucademy is a small number of autistic people helping other autistic people and non-autistic people understand and embrace autistic experiences.
Like, what does it mean to be autistic for you?
I am very proud to have autism.
And we shouldn't be facing things like minority stress or marginalisation. We shouldn't be discriminated against. But despite all of that, I think there is a true power to the fact that autistic people resist stigma. We reframe the meaning of autism around the things that are important to us to try make it a little bit less negative in the way people talk about it.
I'm learning, I'm growing, but if there's one thing I'm learning and growing and changing about, it's that I have a right to be me.
Thank you for listening.